Hello, I'm going to share with you information about the Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. What is FERPA? Well, schools that are receiving federal funding must keep the educational records and personally identifiable information about their students confidential. Who can request information? Adult-age students and parents. If the district or school is requesting information about a student, they can ask why. And it's recommended that they request a copy of the district's policy on videotaping and photographing of students and any surveys that they take. Programs that are not sponsored by the school, parents and adult age students should get more information. And if there is a breach in the confidentiality of the student's records, it is important that it is documented in writing. Customs and immigration enforcement, equal access to education. Well, based on federal law, districts must provide equal access to a public education at the secondary and elementary levels for all students, and that will not be affected by their parents' citizenship status. Under FERPA law, these students are protected and schools must keep their personally identifiable information and their educational records confidential. Districts may inquire about the residence of the child, such as requesting proof of address, but they may not ask about their immigration or citizenship status. How do you ensure all employees are in compliance with FERPA in your school? Well, everyone should know the exceptions, the protections, and the rights of FERPA. It's important to raise the awareness of FERPA with employees and conduct trainings annually, implement procedures such as shredding all paperwork, encrypting all emails and files will add more protection, implementing additional tools for prevention such as software for case management, choosing vendors who understand FERPA and how to stay in compliance, and just to be sure you are receiving federal funds, which confirms FERPA applies to your school. There are exceptions to FERPA. The Federal Commission on School Safety report stated that under FERPA guidelines, schools have flexibility disclosing students' education and data records in specific settings, such as when the safety or health of students and others must be protected. Surveillance cameras have become prevalent in schools. The National Center for Education found that from 2015 to 2016, over 94% of high schools and 80% of public schools had used security cameras on their campuses to monitor the students and to promote more school safety. This, however, did raise legal issues for administrators that needed to be addressed. It's recommended that school administrators take into consideration developing policies and notifying the community about the use of security cameras and following the Family Policy Compliance Office website, which has frequently asked questions on videos and photos under FERPA. Enforcement of FERPA. What happens if a complaint is filed by a parent or eligible student? The violation will be investigated, but could take months or years. Under subpart E of 99 of the law, it states a formal investigation is not required for all complaints, and violation investigations are determined on a case-by-case basis. There are school resource officers and law enforcement units. Schools may assign an office or official to monitor the security and safety of their site. School resource officers may be on site and can serve as a liaison between the district and the police department. What happens if you are in violation of FERPA? Many educators may not be aware and are unintentionally violating FERPA law. What does that look like? Schools hold the responsibility of the vendors they choose and how they use the student data. So it's important to be careful when using vendors and beware of free vendors. Schools may not deny students records to the parents of a student who is under 18 years of age and the student after they turn 18. Educators may not share information from a report they've read. So if it's documented, they cannot share that outside of the school. Social media, any inappropriate disclosure is a violation. And email is something to be very careful with because an attachment could contain some sensitive information and can be risky. There is a need to strengthen FERPA due to our new digital age. Regulatory changes have weakened FERPA over several years, allowing schools to share student data with corporations such as Google. As a result, over 120 privacy laws for students have been passed in 40 states since 2013, which created a variety of confusing statutes. Discussions are underway on how to strengthen FERPA and make more modernized updates, which is good. And school leaders need to ensure that vendors apply safeguards and have contracts which hold them liable if anything goes wrong. The destruction of data. There is the Privacy Technical Assistance Center. It is a wonderful resource for all stakeholders in education and provides information about confidentiality, data privacy, and practices for security of student data. Such as deleting a record may not be enough. So the PTAC offers methods for destroying data that is electronic, such as clearing data using a specific software, and other forms can be found. Information for educators. There is the Teacher's Guide to Understanding FERPA, which has the information at the bottom of the slide, and the website gives information about how to protect students' confidentiality. What happens if a complaint from a parent or student who is eligible is filed? Well, the Family Policy Office will investigate your school. FERPA does not permit the release of records of a student without the eligible student or parent's consent. They do provide extensive information about students' personally identifiable information, and they provide examples such as the student's place of birth, so what exactly that looks like. And it's really useful for teachers to have. And again, there's the website and the name of the guide for you to reference. In Long Beach Unified School District, we provide guidelines for parents and students, and this is available on the website. It gives information that's very comprehensive, addressing FERPA rights and laws and policies for families to follow, and government departments they can contact for more information. So this is very useful and available to everybody on the website. And here are the references. Thank you very much.